Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen across our beautiful country of Canada, our friends around the world, in the known and unknown universe. Welcome back to your favorite Angry Canadian on the 2nd day of October 2023. And as I said in my previous video, I'm going to be talking about infill. And that's not pudding inside a donut or crepes with jam in them. No, infill has to do with housing. But before I get to that, let's talk about Kelowna, British Columbia, because this city, holy crap, it's going to be a showcase for Canada, the world. Kelowna officials are partnering with Microsoft to develop AI tools that make building permitting faster. The tools include chatbot to answer bylaw questions and an AI tool to check applications in real time. That's going to be like 20 or 30% faster than now. And we're building Kelowna into an intelligent city, which makes me ponder about how did the ancient people build those damn cities? I mean, you take a look at the Mayan jungle. Cindy and I have been to a number of Mayan sites, and they had cities with 10, 20, 50,000 people or more. And you go to Asia and you see those old temples, and in India and all Egypt and the pyramids, they're still trying to figure out how they were built. All they have is, maybe. So now we get to the infill housing. Oh gosh, that's so exciting. Infill. Like a landfill? Okay. Detached house, duplex, triplex, fourplex, etc. Townhomes. Low-rise. Now, this is supposed to be for the lower-income people who can't afford a detached house or can't afford to move into the tall high-rises, where the asking price in Canadian dollars exceeds $10 million. I mean, I remember, I'm such an old fart, I remember when money was $1 million. Holy smokes, they're a millionaire. Man, in the day when you could buy a house for $70,000, $80,000, late 70s, early 80s, even less. It's absolutely astounding how inflation has made living virtually unaffordable for anyone except people in the highest income range. And I know there's a lot of middle-income people working both husband and wife and have a nice house. But what is their life like? As a matter of fact, tonight on the news, Global Vancouver, I think is where it was, they were talking about people selling their house so they can live and have some quality in their life, instead of all the money going into interest for the banks. It was their dream home. It happens. Kelowna, British Columbia, summer 2023, homeless encampment.
What is life like here? Dirty. Oh, somebody here.
Short of quite a bit of maintenance with the grounds and whatnot, just the same as life in a house or anywhere else.
Yeah.
As well as finding a place, maintaining the right type of lifestyle. But either way, it's I'm a grown man, my wife's a grown woman, and we make our own choices. So if we're gonna make our own bed, we will lay in it. But there's a lot of uncontrolled variables that come along with learning how to adapt in an industry and a society as expensive financially as the one in Kelowna.
Yeah, these guys are usually pretty good, but this still makes sense to me. This dirt, like, we try and go in public and we're marked. Like,
do they come in here often and do this? Every week.
Yeah, like I actually had my tent got melted it's so hot. Not as hot as the west side, but not once, but twice yesterday. So the one gentleman's like, I'm gonna throw out the burnt stuff. I'm like, okay. The tarps, of course, and then I had the pallets underneath for the carpet. Then I'm like, I'll keep the pallets so that I'm not in the dirt. And then right over his head, didn't hear the word I said. Pallets in the garbage. Tarps that are burnt fine in the garbage. Then he's looking at my sun's shelter. Hey, how about that stuff? I'm like, no. It comes in a bag and shit, man. I get sunstroke without this stuff. Like he was just drooling at the mouth, wanting to get rid of my stuff.
No, I'm asking how the hell is it here? There's so many people.
Why? Because we're all homeless. We all live on the street.
So you've been here for a while?
Yeah, I've been on homeless a year on out on the street. So I came to Tent City because this is where the homeless people hang out, and we all tend to group together and meet each other and have been associated because of it's either you're wealthy in Kelowna or you're broke.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. Like, I don't know if there's a middle. Like, it's either I was raised. My mom was a homeowner. She worked at Sunripe. I don't know what happened.
The prices keep going up, and for many, homes simply get further out of reach. A new survey by Royal LePage has put some of that calculus into focus, especially for first-time homebuyers.
Really across Canada, first-time buyers are struggling.
Almost 3/4 of first-time homebuyers are worried that their down payment won't be enough. And as a result, most end up expanding their search to areas where homes are cheaper. And even then, it's not enough.
We just had a client that started off in Burnaby, then we looked at US, into Coquitlam. We finally ended up in Port Coquitlam last week. 10 offers. We had to go way over the asking price to even have a shot at it.
41% of first-time buyers across BC need help with their down payment. 19% get help with monthly payments. And for more than half of first-time buyers, the financial help comes as a gift.
As the rates go up, the mortgage amount that they qualify for is getting less and less. So bank mom and dad are digging deep into their home equities to come up with that difference.
Higher interest rates are also contributing to affordability questions, but have had almost no impact on market supply or on price points.
It was just last night, on the 2nd of October 2023, that once again in Vancouver, they were talking about that this time it's home ownership. And you could use Kelowna just in the same manner. In Vancouver, some people are now selling their homes and moving back into rent, which brings me to Trudeau's sugar daddy, Klaus Schwab. I mean, Trudeau was in the Young Leaders program and all that. You know, Klaus talked about that openly, including the fact that he feels that at least half of Trudeau's cabinet also was a WEF Young Leaders crap. Now, there's a bunch of zillionaires who in 1970 joined together and since then have been working how to manipulate the world into their playground. Maybe playground isn't the right term to use. Maybe it's a fortress. Because have you seen the pictures of Klaus Schwab in his outfit? It looks like a Klingon. Maybe he does Klingon. One of the predictions is you'll own nothing and you're going to be happy. And whatever you want, you'll rent. Oh, gosh, that's going to be so sweet. And once again, a friendly little reminder that these individuals who are planning your future are not elected. No, just like the World Health Organization. It's a private entity fed by donations. The second biggest donor to keep the World Health Organization afloat is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. You can look all this up. Privates are taking over the world. And perhaps we should be a little bit alarmed about that because there's, your democracy and freedoms are going to be shot down the road. They don't want you to own anything, because that way they can control the shit out of you. And the real scary part for everyone out there should be that in Canada, Justin Trudeau, the Liberals, joined by the NDP, are on this track. I'm not even sure if Canada will have another federal election because, well, really, they don't have to, as long as they get support from somewhere, or they can just change the law. Same thing applies in the U.S. What's happening in the world in political fields, combined with wealth and Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, I just heard yesterday that I guess he spent something like $400 million in the U.S. on the previous presidential election. We're going to hear a little bit from our beloved Chrystia Freeland, who happens to be the Minister of Finance. So she's got her greedy little fingers on money. She's the Deputy Prime Minister, so I'm sure she's got her greasy little finger up Trudeau's instructing him. And she's also on the board of trustees of the World Economic Forum. Coincidence? I don't think so. She's also a lover of George Soros. Well, I don't mean lover, but all the stuff that's going on is incredible.
Today, I am announcing a further ambitious step in our government's plan to make housing more affordable for Canadians. Starting today, I am increasing the annual limit for Canada mortgage bonds from $40 billion to $60 billion. Builders need access to low-cost financing. And to ensure builders have access to the financing they need to build more homes faster, we are unlocking up to an additional $20 billion from Canada mortgage bonds and directing this money to multi-unit rental projects.
Rental units. So basically, they're going to give billions to build rental units because they don't want you to own anything. That's part of the World Economic Forum's, Jonter. You'll own nothing and be happy. So first of all, you won't be able to afford your home. You're going to be a rent payer for all of your friggin' life. I was just about going to say miserable life because it sure the hell is under the wokesters. And the media is right on with it. Oh, good. We're going to build. You think they're going to be affordable rental units? It's not just the cost, all the costs, everything from lumber and everything is pricey.
This financing will make it easier for builders to access financing for construction projects like apartment buildings, student housing, and seniors' residences. There is no fiscal impact for the Government of Canada as a result of this measure. This is fiscally responsible policy using the policy tools at our disposal. And this is a further measure in our broader and continuing campaign to build more homes for Canadians faster. This new measure alone, announced and implemented today, will help to build up to 30,000 additional rental units every single year. And with the removal of the GST on new rental housing, we are expecting even more demand for this financing as we work to deliver more of the rental housing that Canadians urgently need. Our plan is already having a concrete, specific impact. Just yesterday, a Toronto-based company said they are now going to build 5,000 new rental units across the country that were otherwise on hold.